What's up, guys? Welcome back. So this is our Cincinnati Bengals breakdown and their offseason needs. I'm Sam. Do we need to do all the introductions?
I'm Jake.
All right. So first off, everyone knows this. They need to find an offensive line. They need help.
Top need.
Help. So quickly, I'll go to the draft. This is why I have them picking Zion Johnson out of Boston College with the 31st pick or another offensive lineman. I know Boston College has 3 or 4 guys from their O-line getting drafted this year. So I think Zion's probably their best fit, but they need to figure out offensive line help for Burrow. We saw what happened with Mahomes and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And really, that's kind of what the same story with the Bengals. If you give, Burrow 2 more seconds or 3 more seconds with the ball, Jamar beats Ramsey, touchdown, Bengals win the Super Bowl. So definitely need to find offensive line help for Burrow.
When I think of the Bengals and what they need, all I think is get some corners and get an O-line, and then they're there.
Yeah, for sure.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they stuck with that all year.
And they've got the weapons on offense. All it is more protection.
Going back to exactly what you said, you're totally right. If they had literally 2 more seconds, they won the Super Bowl. If that's not a slap in the face of what you need, that just gives me the slap in the face the Chiefs' whole front office got when Mahomes ran for 600 yards in the backfield. And what did we do in the offseason? We literally got a whole new O-line.
Restructured our whole offensive line.
Our starters are brand new.
I think it's even more dangerous when you think about it for this team that if they do get a better offensive line, we see what Burrow did with a shit offensive line. Now look, if he got a little bit more time, that's scary.
Burrow will move into top 10 if he can prove himself.
For sure.
And it's crazy to think that's all they need. But it's something that they went to the Super Bowl. Obviously, they shouldn't have, but they did. And they nearly won it. But it was because of their terrible O-line they couldn't. And now, once they hit the free agents market, you guys will get into, and they hit the draft spots they need, they will be a scary team.
For sure. All right, Jake.
Like you guys were touching on, there's a ton of offensive linemen in this draft and in free agency. They could easily go sign a guy like Brandon Sheriff from the Washington football team or Washington Commanders to kind of man that offensive line. They need a veteran guy like that to have in the offseason or for the next upcoming season. The biggest contract that they have on the books that they need to deal with right now is Jesse Bates. Jesse Bates is a top 3 safety in the NFL. Yeah, he's kind of babying around on Twitter right now.
He's tweeting out saying yesterday's money ain't today's money.
He's not happy that he's not getting re-signed. And I get that they should probably franchise tag him just so they can spend money elsewhere. But right now, if you are the Cincinnati Bengals, just give him the money that he wants, plain and simple, so he doesn't get pissed off and go sign somewhere else.
He's a generational safety.
Yeah, obviously they do need offensive line help, but we saw last year they made it to the Super Bowl and they still didn't have a great offensive line. Focus on retaining your playmakers that you have right now as opposed to dilly-dallying and pissing them off and then...
Yeah, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
The defense that carried them to the Super Bowl. That's a whole nother point.
Except Eli Apple.
Yeah, except for Eli Apple.
Hashtag Eli Apple hate.
Hashtag burnt.
Burnt toast.
Burnt toast.
Hashtag Apple Crips.
Anyway, they also need to look into re-signing Larry Ojanobi. He's been a key part of their defensive line. One thing that has really gone unnoticed for Cleveland was signing Trey Henderson from the Saints last offseason. Henderson was a dominant factor and was one of the main reasons why Cincinnati's defense had so much success because Hendrickson was able to get to the passer, and then you've got guys like Logan Wilson behind him that are quick enough to pick up on those tight ends and just stick on drags and flat routes, whereas there's other linebackers that aren't so quick to be able to pick up on those cues and with enough play recognition to be able to successfully defend teams like the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. They are going to need some help, though, also still on offense. CJ Uzomah.
He gone.
Yeah, he's getting old.
He gone.
And he got hurt.
It would not be smart to re-sign.
Yeah, they should just cut their ties. If Cincinnati I don't think this would happen, but Rob Gronkowski will most likely be a free agent.
I think he retires, though.
Yeah, I bet he retires.
I think it'd be. The only reason why I throw Gronk out there, or we throw Gronk out there, is because when we were doing our research, Gronk's name has been thrown around actually a couple times that need tight ends. I believe it was a couple teams that need tight ends. Cincinnati was one of them. What was the other one?
Colts need a tight end.
Colts need as well. So
we'll get to the Colts, but you know how you put Dalton Schultz?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like no way he goes there.
Why?
Either the Cowboys won't let him, or he'll rather go to the Colts.
I mean, I could see Dalton Schultz wanting to go play with Joe Burrow, man. I don't know why he wouldn't.
Anybody wants to go play with the quarterback who just went to the Super Bowl, but you got to think long term.
Long term, Dalton Schultz is a top 10 tight end in the NFL right now.
He'll get paid more on the Colts than he will Bengals.
And they got a young
the Colts have to
back.
deal with money elsewhere too.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz will probably not be playing for them, and we'll dive in more. But go ahead, I cut you off.
But Gronk was the name we threw out. If he doesn't retire, but he, like Hassan said, he'll most likely retire, and then obviously Schultz as well. Like Hassan said, they need to strengthen the secondary. Specifically their cornerbacks. I saw this thrown around. Now, this would be a stretch, but the Bengals have plenty of cap room. They could go after both J.C. Jackson, who I've heard rumors that is going to explore free agency this year, is not getting re-signed by the Patriots, and Marcus Williams, which that's a lot of money, and still have enough money to pay for either Bates or Larry Ojanobi if they went that route. But like I said, that's a stretch, and you want to keep Jesse Bates happy. Hassan said that's a generational talent, and with him, with pissing him off, that could be very detrimental to the Bengals secondary.
100%. He's 26, 25.
Yeah.
Better than Derwin James ever was to start of the rookie year.
And speaking of younger players, there are younger corners out there that they could go for as well.
I like that.
Ward, Douglas, even Dante Jackson if they explore that option.
He's a little on the older side, though. But that veteran presence will be good for them.
And
definitely
he's quick. He's one of the quicker corners in the league. So, Ward might be a good option for him.
Yeah, I've always been a big hater on Ward.
Yeah.
I just think he's terrible, and I know the Chiefs never really specialized in cornerbacks.
He could go to a different spot and thrive, though. You never know.
Mm-hmm. I think he goes to the Vikings.
That could be a I've seen that thrown around as well.
Vikings love the Chiefs' sloppy seconds.
Rasul Douglas is another option.
I like that pick
for the Bengals. The Packers obviously aren't going to re-sign him, so that would be a great option for the Bengals. Like I said, so they can either go after a big name target like JC or Marcus Williams, but I see them probably going the younger route, going the cheaper route, so that they have the money. It all just depends on Jesse Bates' situation. If they franchise tag him, then they have the money to go after JC or Marcus. But then you got to worry about the money next year when Jesse Bates wants the big money.
And the thing is, you got to worry about the money in the future because you probably have the best receiving core in the league.
For sure.
Tampa Bay's all done for. Dallas is done for. Who else has the best? Maybe you can say Rams. But injuries will derail them.
The Bengals are going to have.
They have the best young receiving core.
I was going to say.
I'll put it that way.
If these guys if these wide receivers, Boyd, Chase, and
T.
Higgins are all on pace like they've been. This past
Boyd's
year.
like the best. He was the best slot receiver in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Jamar Chase was the best deep receiver in the league.
Deep receiver in the league, yeah. And T. Higgins still got a lot of room to grow.
Receiver.
Yeah.
What else can you ask for? The tall, big, fast receiver?
So they're going to have to be smart with their money. Money now even affects what they have to do with that wide receiver core later on because Jamar's going to – as long as Jamar doesn't get hurt and he stays healthy and he keeps doing what he's doing, he's going to demand big money.
Oh, yeah.
We know that. A lot of people said he's top 5 wide receiver this year. I probably agree. T's, like you said, T's still got a lot of room to grow. He's young. He could probably demand a decent amount of money as well. And then you have Tyler Boyd, who's the best slot receiver in the league. So that's a lot of money you're demanding out, however long their contracts are up. Obviously, that's probably 3 or 4 or 5 years down the road. But still, situations like this.
What you do now is going to determine then.
Situations like with Bates and, the decisions you make with your corners are going to make huge effects down the road. Jake, go ahead.
We talked about that they need to focus on offensive line. Another thing that they could look into doing is look to try and find another linebacker. Obviously, they have Joe Burrow, they have Joe Mixon, they have T. Higgins, they have Jamar Chase, they have Tyler Boyd. They have a very good offense, but you saw in the playoffs when they played the Chiefs, they were relying on their defense to stop Kansas City's offense in order to let them crawl back into the game. Right now, the Bengals, if you just take a look at their depth chart, like I said earlier, they have Logan Wilson, they have Jermaine Pratt. The Bengals typically run 2 linebacker sets. I know it says they have base 4-3.
Yeah.
But they typically have Trey Waynes play down and even Jordan Evans play. So there's really usually only 2 or 3 linebackers on the field for them. I think there are a ton of options to look into in this upcoming draft. I don't necessarily think they would ever go after a guy like Nick Bonito, but if they were to have him there when they're up in the second round, I think if you throw Nick Bonito into that fold, then you have a guy that can play linebacker and he can rush off the edge behind Trey Henderson or even Sam Hubbard on the other side. I think their defensive line is pretty much set in stone. They've got Hubbard, Reeder, Henderson, and B.J. Hill, and they also have Ojinobi, who will, when he comes back and he's healthy, he slots right into that second defensive tackle spot. All in all, this Bengals team is very loaded top to bottom with talent. It's going to come down to how they execute the talent that they have on the field and how they manage their contracts off the field.
Yep.
If you guys don't have anything else to add.
I was going to say one last thing. I could also see them going for a corner in the draft. That's a real young guy.
My thing about the corners is they signed Eli Apple, they signed Awuzie, and they signed Mike Hilton all last season.
This dude just said Eli Apple like it was a good thing.
No, I'm just telling you.
I'm just saying, man. You just said Eli Apple like it was a good thing.
Because Eli Apple was signed last season and he's getting paid.
Yeah.
He's getting money. I don't care that he's not good.
Let's go see what Eli Apple looks right now.
But I'm saying that they paid 3 corners last season to solidify their secondary.
Yeah.
Live video feed of Eli Apple.
Clown. They need Mike Hilton to step up, or they need a guy like Trey Flowers that they drafted last year in the latter rounds to step up. They need Vernon Hargraves to try and return back to his old self, trying to turn the clock back. I think they can.
I don't know about that one.
What?
I don't think
that
he
Hargraves, I think, is probably.
I
still don't think they should go out and sign a cornerback in free agency.
I'm just thinking I wouldn't necessarily throw it all the way out the window though, because they're.
And you say Vernon Hargraves like he's not 26.
I understand,
but he's
that.
still trash.
There's a reason why he's third string behind fucking Eli Apple. I think the issue is it's going to be something with the Chiefs situation. We saw their defense had struggled. They have all the talent on offense. They're stacked up.
It's because the Chiefs have never. Jake said this. They're not really known for specializing in secondary, to be honest.
I'm not necessarily talking about the secondary. I'm just talking about defense as a whole. Their defense.
I know we're going to have to reconstruct everything, which we'll get into.
I'm not necessarily talking about the situation now. I'm just talking about the situations before. Their defense has not been up to par like their offense has been. Their offense has been explosive, great, fantastic,
when you hear the Chiefs, you think of
Mahomes to Tyreek or Mahomes to Kelsey.
Or even before, it was Kelsey and Tyreek and Jamal Adams, Charles. I don't know why I said Jamal Adams.
Jeremy Maclin was their receiver before Tyreek.
Dwayne Bowe.
All I'm saying is the defense. There, you have all this talent top to bottom with your offense.
Yeah.
You don't want to sit there and mess around with your defense and not try to strengthen a certain part and blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden it's gonna kick your ass in the back half of the season because we really could have used those secondary pieces, or we really could have. So that's why I'm saying don't necessarily. I agree with you, but don't necessarily throw the corner situation a secondary situation.
I can definitely see him picking up like how we tried to pick up a Mike Hughes, just somebody who will make a difference.
Or just go after somebody like Douglas who's not commanding a shitload of money. Just another guy that can, and then hopefully one of the other corners step up. What we shall see. So I think that's it.
Yeah, it's pretty much the Bengals. We'll see you when we do not the Browns.
Yeah, we're gonna do the
Steelers.
Browns.
Oh, Browns.